Hello, Avila microeconomics students. So it is Sunday, July 19th. So giving you a preview of things to come for week 5. You get a little bit of a break this week. We just have the Pearson My Lab and then again the forum discussion. So critical as always, jump into those early. That way you give yourself kind of a break up those assignments through the week so you're not having to do everything on Sunday, try to get everything rushed to get it submitted. So this week, just a little bit of overview of the stock market. I mean, it's amazing to me because the stock market is doing still quite well, given everything that's going on with COVID-19 and potential concerns, for additional job losses. And this week, we're going to continue with that question of market structures with monopoly and monopolistic competition. Monopolistic competition is the most prevalent business market structure that we have out there. But I'll talk about those in just a little bit. But just a reminder, get everything wrapped up for week 4. I'll have everything graded probably by Monday or Tuesday at the latest. But again, if you have any questions, do email me. But look forward to hearing your post from the forum discussion this week. We are officially halfway done with the course, so just keep plugging along. Don't forget about the writing assignment too that you have in week 7. You get a little bit of break in week 5 and 6 with the assignments, but just stay on top of things and you'll be okay. So with this is some of my favorite chapters in microeconomics. You start to get into the market structures. One with monopoly. Do monopolies, are they legal in the United States? Well, it depends. We do have regulated monopolies. These are called natural monopolies. Examples will be around here in Kansas City. It's called Evergy. Partnered with Kansas. They are allowed to earn what we would call just a normal profit, where the price is exactly equal to average total cost. So that they're heavily regulated. And U.S. Postal Service is a monopoly. They're the only ones who can deliver mail to your mailbox. In fact, if you put mail in somebody else's mailbox, that's illegal. It's a violation. So but there are other competitors to the U.S. Post Office in different types of mail delivery, mostly packages, FedEx, all those out there that deliver UPS. So there's competition in that sense. So the U.S. Postal Office is kind of a unique anomaly because for years it just continues to lose money. I have no idea why we need to have mail delivered on Saturday. Most of our mail is just all junk mail. Most of our correspondence is electronic now, but it's a system that probably truly needs an overhaul. But we'll see if that happens anytime soon. And there's a lot of towns that have a post office. It's a very high fixed cost. It's kind of a pride thing. But if the fear is that if they lose that, instead of just doing it out of like the local grocery store, they're going to lose some federal dollars. But there's probably a lot more efficiencies. There's a lot of waste and inefficiency sometimes in that federal government. It's like a Dr. Seuss book, blue fish, red fish, one fish, two fish. So you have to kind of sort through all these very high costs to deliver a service. So with monopoly, this is a unique structure in the sense that there is only one competitor. So there's nobody trying to enter the market like you saw in perfect competition to drive the price down. So it is possible for monopolists to earn economic profits over the long period of time. Again, I said most monopolies in the United States are regulated, or other examples, they're allowed to get a patent, say for a pharmaceutical drug. Say that one does come out for COVID-19, it is the drug that is a vaccinization that's going to work. They're going to argue they put a lot of research dollars into this. Their reward for producing this drug is that they're going to earn some economic profits for a long period of time. And almost once you see that patent expire on the pharmaceutical, they will match all substitutes or generic prices just to kind of maintain that market. So now this doesn't mean that a monopoly cannot be losing money just because you have a patent or exclusive rights to an area. If nobody wants the product or you're not able to manage the cost, where your costs are greater than your price, it is potentially a shutdown point. That's still a lot of things. And as you're reading the news this week, you're going to keep hearing probably more and more about certain firms in this COVID-19, and that's why it's kind of crazy right now with how rapidly this is happening for some companies. And I said, like in my field of higher education, I work at MCC Longview. I mean, we're seeing enrollment down quite a bit even there, just because kids are maybe taking a gap year, they're not sure what to do. But for some of these colleges, I think you're going to continue to see some of them get to that shutdown point, or they're going to have to stop programs. Certain programs are just not viable anymore. So I'm really interested to see what's going to happen this fall, especially if they can't get students, those that depend on residence life, the auxiliary services. It could really crush some of these colleges. So, but again, with one of the things, kind of I'll just as an aside here with monopoly, one of the ways, even if you're not a monopoly, is what we called it engaging in price discrimination. That is, charging different prices to different consumers based on elasticity of demand. And even like they gave the example of like a loyalty program in the beginning. I take advantage of these too, whether it's just through Subway or my wife through Kohl's, whatever it would be. But it is a way to kind of keep you to a particular firm or a particular service, and they're very smart about how they market these things, how they offer the product or services. You might even call it mental buckets that they use in order to influence your decisions, even if it is not a monopoly, it's more than one market. So there are aspects of even monopolistic competition firms that try through advertising and other ways to try to get you just to stick to that product. And a lot of times too, whether it's trash service, I know I always kind of find it interesting. In my neighborhood, I went down and did the research, which one was the lowest price, and there's one out of Harrisonville, but there's still people that go with Deaf and Bomb. Well, Deaf and Bomb was a lot more expensive, but I think a lot of it is just that people aren't searching out the information to find the lowest price. Maybe there are differences in service, but to me, really, you're just picking up trash. So what can be the difference between the quality of service? So, all right, with monopolistic competition, that's our most prevalent market structure. I like to think of this as kind of like the fast food restaurant. It's a homogenous product, but they all try to slightly differentiate themselves. So, to me, it's a cheeseburger, French fries, and your soda. But each restaurant will do something slightly to the cheeseburger, the French fries, or the soda. Who they decide to go through. Even like when you have choices, you limited choices sometimes, whether it's Pepsi or Coca-Cola. You could say that's monopolistic in that sense when you go to the restaurant. But they're all trying to make themselves unique, differentiate themselves, but really the idea is still the same. It's a cheeseburger, French fries, and a soft drink. So, but you'll see a lot of advertising on television for monopolistic competition firms, especially if they believe they have a good product, but they're trying to compete to get you to buy those products, and also that drives up their cost curves too. But it's almost something that you have to do. You got to get yourself out there. You got to market yourself. And again, I said that the monopolist competitive firm is the most prevalent firm out there in the United States. But again, in the past, I've said, what we're starting to see in some industries, especially the Republican administration, they allow typically a lot more mergers. So although last week we talked about things getting more perfectly competition from information available everywhere, you do have some companies, and it's going to be interesting, especially with this COVID-19, those that need to have the capital to survive, will become fewer and fewer firms that may end up being what we call like an oligopoly, that they kind of use interdependent decisions. But right now, we're just kind of based it on the principle that each firm is unique. They have a set of prices in the market. There's some hamburger places that are very expensive. That Five Guys is the one I think in Lee Summit, but they're, McDonald's probably a little lower end. Quality will vary, but they all have, different target markets that they try to reach and set different prices for those things. In fact, I think my kids got excited about some Hawaiian Brothers coming to the neighborhood, so we went and tried it. It was basically macaroni cheese or macaroni, rice, and chicken. They kept it pretty simple on the menu. They probably did that purposely so they can try to get as much volume. And I'm sure their markup on that stuff is probably 400, 500%. And it's very popular right now. So they're doing all the right things. So, all right. Well, that's it for this week. So if you do have any questions, do email me. But otherwise, I look forward to talking to you online. I gave you a little bit of insights, to your reading. You're going to learn a lot more. But again, those same principles with the where's my price relative average total cost. If it's above, I'm making economic profit. If it's exactly, I'm earning a normal profit, and that's where we should get to in the long run with monopolistic competition. If a firm is kind of where the price is below average total cost, above average variable cost, we continue to produce in the short run to cover some of those fixed costs. But if at some point the price drops below average total cost, and that's a common example, you'll see that with restaurants all over Kansas City, they start and then they shut down because they just can't meet that point where the price is above average variable cost. It's actually costing them more to stay open, so they have to make that decision to shut down. So I hope you all have a great week. Hopefully we get some cooler weather, but I know it's still going to be hot. Market's still doing well, so that's a good thing. But hopefully you all are staying safe too. So take care.